jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.
Once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports. Man, big Friday to each and every one of you, man. You know what it is. Had to open up the mic and, link drop. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the weekend started. I know we got a heavyweight affair going on with Tyson Fury, you know what I'm saying, and Dillian White. And, we're looking forward to it. It's for the WBC World Heavyweight Crown. You know what I'm saying? Formerly the title of the one and only Deontay Bronze Bomber Wilder. Shout out the Bomb Squad. Yeah, we're still looking forward to see your return. You know what I'm saying? Anybody and everybody can get that smoke. I know it. You know what I'm saying? The champ is going to return sometime or another. I got hope. I got hope. I got hope. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the task at hand. Appreciate the ones who hit me in the inbox with some conducive feedback as to what's going on or what happened with this Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence trilogy. I mean, possible, not trilogy, but, just to get the fight into existence. A lot of people are talking about the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford situation now that Errol Spence has finally got 3 belts. All right. The big talk is in reference to the numbers that was did this past weekend. I haven't been the dude to talk about numbers like this. This is just not my forte, bro. It's not what I do. But I'm on that time with this. Reason why I'm on this time because Errol Spence has 3 belts now. So the only thing we can talk about until the fight happen is, the Spence Crawford situation, because it seems much more closer than it would be. Shout out to Flex in the building. I see you. Salute. He said, let's go. So I did a live on this earlier, right? Where I was just speaking on the numbers that has already been out several times over. 200. It's like, listen, we're going to keep this all the way a buck. They say the fight did 200 or less, 200,000 or less. All right. And then you have the numbers come out 240,000. I'm not hearing any numbers above 250. Any of that shit. If y'all going to round off numbers and all this other stuff, so be it. I don't care. If we're going to exaggerate the numbers on what they did at the gate, okay. I don't care. The fact remains is that this fight that we just seen is no doubt, no ifs, ands, or buts about on who won the fight. But there is chatter that we need to discuss when it comes to a local star versus a global star. When you're doing 200,000 PPV buys, it's easy for me to come up here and say the same thing about Terrence Crawford, but I didn't. If you're going to sit up here and elevate the numbers to whatever you see fit. I got connections too, shawty. I speak to people. They telling me the fight did low 200s or 200 and below. Just like they had the audacity to come out with the numbers about Terrence Crawford saying he did 90 to 150. That's initial. So when Terrence Crawford numbers come on, everybody can sit up here and talk about the numbers. Oh, he did 90,000 to 150, 190. Everybody had their own numbers, right? But when the numbers come out with Errol Spence, they acting like it's against the law. It becomes illegal for you to speak on the numbers because that's just not possible. You know what I'm saying? This is not possible that Errol Spence can do these type of numbers. Yes, it is possible. Andrew, what's good with it? Salute to you. I see you, bro. It is possible for him to do these numbers. If you're going to sit up here and place your Dennis Ugas in the ring as if he's just a silhouette and Spence did all this on his own, then you're acutely delusional. There's no way to know how you can sit up here and push narratives and say that Spence did these numbers when he had a dance partner. Every boxer has an opponent. Every boxer has opposition. You cannot sit up here and say that Errol Spence did this number. Errol Spence did that number. And then you take those same numbers and you compare it to the numbers that you believe Terrence Crawford did. This numbers language, it seems like it's becoming a bit garbled every time we talk about this boxing shit. Because you if you stay on YouTube long enough, you know the wave, it just continues to ripple. The current might get, speed up and slow down, speed up and slow down. The swell of the current, it differs according to what the topic of discussion is. People do 5, 6, 7 videos on the same boxer just to get enough delusional content out there for people to listen to. And then you hear what people are saying, and you're just like, okay, their opinion is no different than my opinion. All I'm doing is basing my opinion. I'm hearing and I've seen out here, just like I posted earlier, that what the numbers look like. Now, y'all can't sit up here and say you don't listen to old media. No, who you shouldn't listen to is YouTube, who get their information from old media. Once again, don't listen to YouTube, who get their information from old media. Y'all not getting y'all information from nobody else, then I'm getting mine. I have contacts just like everybody else. Don't nobody have no more contacts than the other. When it boils down to it, y'all criticize Keith Iole, y'all criticize Dan Raphael, y'all criticize Mike Coppinger, Dan Pugmire. The list goes on and on and on. So extract this squad of old media, right? Extract them, put them in confinement. Who's getting the information? Who's getting the information? Nobody on this YouTube. Nobody. Zero. No one here is getting firsthand information to break the news. You know why you're not? Because we're not important for them to break the news. They don't consider our platforms credible information. Because this is your platform and you're not working. Even though some of these channels are paid to work for certain individuals and to push bias ass narratives, none of us are employed. I'm talking about wholeheartedly wearing the brand and everything. You're not employed. So don't act like you ain't fucking with old media. We all looking on here for what they have to say. I can bring you 1,000+ videos of information that came from old media. So man, stop the damn violin music. Stop popping strings all the time, acting like you coming up with the information yourself and you're the first to break it. No, that's just not the way it worked. 240,000? Seems about right. It may fluctuate, of course. I don't know. It might fluctuate, but Ugas is Ugas and Spence is Spence. Neither one of these guys are global stars. All right. Terrence Crawford is not a global star. But within the boxing community, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, they have to be together. They have to have this matrimony, this welterweight matrimony at 147 pounds, because both of them together would do the biggest numbers in their entire career. It's not going to be Errol Spence because he fought Errol Spence. It's not going to be because Terrence Crawford in there and Errol Spence did the number because he was in. It's going to be both of these guys together. Both of these guys together is the fight that everybody want to see, and that's what they're going to respect whenever that shit pops off. And shout out to the OG Bruce Gas in the building. OTB, what's good with it? Just salute Scott the Rock. Gotta say, Ugas and Cuban community good for 30K. I mean, I have to laugh at that. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I'm laughing at that, OTB, because everybody else has a country behind them. But if they understand and see what's going on, they'll say, well, you know what? Cuba just started up boxing again. And if Yordenis Ugas defected from Cuba, do you believe he's going to have a country behind him? Possibly. It's still going to be people over there because they know that there have been loved ones and people that they know that's defected way back when. They used to come over here for a sport. Boom, they gone. They go into hiding. Especially when it comes to boxing, baseball. Shit. Cubans disappear when they come over here. But every other fighter, Philippines, they got a country behind them. Mexican fighter, they have a country behind them. That's true motherfucking words, dog. This is true words. Everybody else has a country behind them. They have thousands upon thousands of people that's coming to pay them to see them fight. So we have to look at how the U.S. do business. When it comes to the U.S. boxing fans, we're very, very spoiled when it comes to seeing champions and individuals with incredible backstory that's taken them to a place on the championship pinnacle for them to make millions upon millions and be Hall of Famers. We've seen that. We're spoiled. We've had some of the greatest boxers to be birthed out of our U.S. global footprint. But with that said is, when you have a high variety, when you're able to be selective on who you support heavy, then it becomes a problem with you have a lot of fighters that are good, and then you pick and choose which ones you want to support heavy. And that's not to take away from any other fighters that's over here in the U.S. The U.S. don't operate like that. They don't say, oh, I'm going to go with the U.S. fighter. No, they might say some shit like, I'm going to go with the black fighter. I'm going to go with the Mexican fighter. I'm going to go with the European fighter. I'm going to go with Filipino, Argentinian. We some spoiled boxing fans, and we're not always right. But in this particular case, we've been sitting here anticipating, and we finally got everything we wanted. When it comes to Errol Spence, they wanted him to get the 3 belts. He got the 3 belts, bro. El Foul Player on the building. What's good? These other channels are gargling on different objects lately. Well, over here, I don't even say, stuff, whatever. Bruce Gas on deck. I see you, OG. How you feeling? Mr. Pass, salute WCS entrance that the sub 200K rumor I told you about at the start of your previous show was actually true. Wow. Yeah, I appreciate Mr. Pass for dropping that info. Like I say, instead of me having 100 people tuned in, I'll just take the ones I do have and the content that they drop on the live chat. I'm good. It's all to educate the viewers anyway. Okay, Jay Grant, To my, it was a lot of illegal streams. Hey, welcome Jay Grant. Back to the live stream, right? But the only thing I say to this, Grant, why are you saying there was a lot of illegal streams when that's been through the test of time? That's been for decades since we had internet. That's been people was damn streaming that shit forever and a day since we had social media. What does that have to do with this fight? What does that have to do with this fight? And where's this source coming from? I mean, it's easy to put false ass narratives out there that a lot of people illegal stream the fight when they do that to everybody that has a popular name in this sport. Everybody does this. Everybody has to go through this. Let's not sit up here and turn it up and amplify the motherfucking interest all because it's Errol Spence in this. Oh man, people was just streaming the fight illegally. So really, when it comes down to it, he should have 900 to 1 million. No, it doesn't work like that. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell my audience it works like that. Y'all have to accept narrative pushers that's on the bandwagon hitting the horse, and they still got a bumpy ride. And you say, damn, why this shit bumpy? Because you on square wheels. You don't want to turn to innovation. You don't want to go to what's new and improved. You want to keep your listeners all drowned up, brainwashed on square wheel narratives, dog. We have to listen to old media. It's nobody on here that is connected and working with employment that has a number, an employer number with any of these promotions or networks that get that receive the information firsthand. Nobody. People be so quick to say, well, I got this, I got that. Who cares? I got numbers in my phone too. I got people I talk to also. Don't nobody care. Y'all have to sit up here and take it. When they drop shit on Twitter, who's the first one to try to break the news? YouTube. When they drop shit on Twitter, who's the first one to try to break the news? YouTube. So you can't sit up here and take their information, disseminate it to your audience, and then act like you was the source who broke the news first, as if they call you up and say, hey, this is what's going on. Okay. All right, boom. No, you grabbed the source, you took it, and then you distributed it out to your audience. And then, okay, Grant said, what the gate do? You tell me what the gate did. You tell me what the gate did. This what was put out there, Grant. The gate was put out. The gate was about 5 million. I'm hearing all these crazy numbers. The gate was 25, 30, 35, 40, 40, 40, 46, 60, 38, 38 million for your morning. Can I get 45, 44, 44.5, 45, 55, 46, 47, 48, 48, 50 million, 50 million. Ooh, can I get 50 million, 50, 52 million, 50? Man, it's just like being on the auction, dog. Every time you turn around, the numbers are going up like you holding up your number. Hey, 50 over here on number 8. 50. Can I get a 53? Can I get the 53? 54, 54, 55, 54, 55, 56, 56, 56. Come on, y'all. Stop it. Man, this shit is becoming entangled. For real, man. Damn, dog. Come on already. Streams aren't illegal. Jay Grant about 5 million, brother. Mr. Pass told you right there. The gate was about 5 million for Spence Ugas. At Errol Spence has this from Dan Rafael. And then you put it out there. Okay. Hey, it's according to who they support, right? If Mike Carpenter put it out there, oh, F Mike Carpenter. Dan Rafael put, F the Keith Iola put, F. Who are you bringing these numbers? So do you want WCS to tell you some numbers? You want me to come up here and say, you know what? Spence Ugas did around 66K. You're not going to believe it. You're going to tell me to do what? Where did you get your source from? Oh, Mike Carpenter put it out. Oh, well, who did you verify with? It was from his his Twitter account. Like we always get the information. Boxing scene, Boxing News 24, ESPN. Come on, people. Stop up here talking about you don't fuck with old media, you don't fuck with old media, when you have no other ways, no other avenues to source the media firsthand. You have to wait till the news is broke by old media because they're the ones who are employed and embedded from these higher networks to disseminate the news first. Y'all can't say F Mike Coppinger. Why? Because you take his information and you do a search, you put in an inquiry, and you find out somebody else is talking about it, this, that, and then you break it. Oh, breaking. Come on, y'all. It doesn't matter who fights who to a streamer. We watch any and all. OG Bruce, hope all is well. Mr. Pass, that was pretty good. Yeah, shout out to Mr. Pass for dropping the gems. I bought the fight. So for those who bought the fight, right? I know for a fact there's individuals, like I said earlier, that's on this YouTube that didn't pay for the fight. And this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because in order for you to honestly and genuinely support the sport of boxing, and myself, I support MMA also, whether it be Bellator, UFC, Professional Fighting League, PFL, one championship, it can become expensive for PPVs. All right. So some of you, instead of paying out your pocket, you say, you know what, I'm a crack stream this because it's just too much. It's $70-something. It's just too much. Be honest with yourselves. That's why I come in here talking the way I do and keep the energy I keep, because I know it's a big number of you all who don't buy the fight. But yet you want to sit up here and talk about how many PPV buys he did when you didn't even constitute to that. You didn't even have enough respect to even purchase the fight, bro. Dun Dollar said a hot grease summer for show. It's a hot grease summer. We're going to cook some shark. I ain't never seen a shark survive hot grease. You know what it is. EJ20 said he would never pay for a Spence PPV. Why? Why not? Why not? I'm not sure why not. Why not, bro? He's an elite fighter. Why wouldn't you pay for it? If you're not going to pay for a Spence PPV, that means you're not going to watch if him and Crawford ever step in the ring. It makes no sense. D-Ray Promotions on deck. What it do, D-Ray? World Combat Sports salute. Cooking casual temporary boxing fans. You know what it is, man. You know what it is, D-Ray, already. I just find this information funny today because yesterday the parade was in full effect, celebrating some outrageous claims on the numbers. Now look at this. If Andrew can sit back and be cognizant about what he's reading, then not only be cognizant, but he's able to separate what is exaggerated, biased, ignis fatu narratives to what's coming out from old media. Now, what was told to me, as always, I found out when I initially joined this YouTube shit, right? I said, there's some grown ass adults on here, so I'm gonna keep this shit, this type of way. I'm gonna have a certain type of etiquette about it and all this. I found out people don't want you to have etiquette. They just want you to be extremely content in what you're telling them and be authoritative and sound like you know what you're talking about. It gets a bit complex when you have individuals that choose to believe that if they don't hear anything yet, because they're so anxious to get the numbers. You heard this shit. Once the fight was over, that Monday, they say, oh man, we haven't heard the numbers. We haven't heard the numbers. So why not throw out some bogus ass numbers? And these bogus ass numbers is coming from some of the Spence channels that want to be the first to brag as if that shit is for real. No, that shit is opinionated, biased, misleading narratives, bro. I heard on Facebook somebody talking about 500, 600,000. Come on, man. So if you lie on Spence, right? This is how crazy it is. If you lie on Spence numbers, what effect is it going to have on him facing Terrence Crawford? The only effect that it's going to have, the selfish effect that pretty much blossoms on this YouTube shit, like a septic tank, like the fumes coming from a septic tank, is the fact that people will pass a narrative on here just for views, just for super chats, just for subscribers, when they don't hear any news come out from old media yet. Now, old media haven't dropped the news yet because they're still calculating. You know how long it takes for them to gather all those numbers? It takes quite a while, man. If the fight is on Saturday, I doubt the numbers are going to be in by COB Monday. So people get anxious and then they say, you know what? We're going to go ahead and drop these numbers right here. Everybody cool? All right, we're on the same sheet of music. All right, when you go on at 1 o'clock, okay. And then I'm going to go on at 2:30. And then next, we're going to all talk about the same numbers. I'm not believing that. A lot of other people that follow, like Andrew and a lot of other people, not believing this shit. But if you want a source, I gave you Dan Raphael, bro. The gate was about 5 million. Now, another thing that I know for a fact, this ain't opinion, about the ticket sales. When you all sit up here and say a fighter sold out 40,000 and you put the name on that label, you sit up here and say Spence sold out. You are delirious. You are delirious if you believe every single ticket that was allocated for 40,000 was purchased at that gate. And it was all because of Spence. Man, y'all have to stop the capping, bro. Y'all have to stop with the lunacy when it comes to supporting your favorite fighter. I don't care what you say. In general, you can say whatever you want about Spence. Cool, fine. We'll say whatever we want about Terrence Crawford. But I won't sit up here and exaggerate some shit just so I can get more viewers to tune in and say, hey, for real? Those same people that'll sit up here and call me out on some shit, they'll sit up there, know something ain't right on the other channel, and they say, yep, true, yep. TC is just not a ticket seller. He's just not. So why is Spence fighting him then? Why does Spence want to fight Terrence Crawford? Because he had a belt, right? And ever since he beat Jeff Horn, who has defeated Terrence Crawford? Nobody. So all roads lead to who? Terrence Crawford. Canelo fought Caleb Plant. All roads lead to who? Caleb Plant. WCS is sad when some content creators and people are corrected and proven to be wrong, they tend not to retract their statements and give a correction or say that they were wrong. You know, Paz, I mean, that's 1,000% correct, right? And another thing to caveat to that is when certain listeners from their live chat will visit your channel and you go over there and you might drop one small comment, say, what's up, everyone? You get blocked. Because you're not over here. If the topic is on their favorite fighter and they know that you're not on board, their moderators will block you, man. They'll time you out for no reason. That is a FACT OID. It's happened to me. I think it's petty too. Exactly. As if Showtime will call I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. If y'all gonna come over here and talk about something that's off topic, it makes no sense, man. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Mr. Paddy Ray, salute, Bruce. Y'all need to come over here and not sit up here and address stuff because you're mad at somebody. I'm not gonna fight your battle for it unless it's boxing. I'm not getting in anybody else's personal shit. That's not what I do. And if you are a person that's over here on a bogus account and you being that fairy that's trying to get shit stirred up because you're too much of a hoe to do it on your real account, then I'm just gonna skip over you. I'm gonna let you continue to be a hoe. The undercard is trash. Bruce is the worst undercard I've ever seen in my life. So let me go back up. Let me go back up to see what undercard you're talking about. I just want to know what EJ makes Saturday. Bruce, the card. Let me see. I haven't thought about it. Okay. Of course the undercard is going to be a bit wicked, bro. Of course, the undercard of Tyson Fury and Dillian White. Yeah. I mean, it's been one of the worst heavyweight fight promotions in a long time. We never seen this shit. Well, the only one that was lacking a little bit of promotion, but yet they still had a presser in Cali was Fury Wilder, the rematch. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of personal animosity built up there. Well, after the rematch, I take that back. After the rematch, it was a bit more quieter leading up to the rematch than it was in their first fight. I pay for every fighter. The fighters I like, Spence and Bud, are gonna make a lot of money when they fight. Absolutely. And you know what, Grant? I have no issues with that. I want them to get paid because boxing does not have a retirement. I want them brothers to get paid so much money. I want to get paid so much money they can live the rest of their life and be cool with it. And be cool with it. Just because I don't support one fighter, man, I'm a fan of who I want to be a fan of. I can be a fan of the fighter. I can be a fan of the sport. I can be a fan of everything dealing with fighter uniforms. It doesn't matter because I'm grown. I can do that. When it comes to the fighters, they don't have a retirement plan. I want them to get paid as much financial gain monetarily as they can, so their kids can live off of it. The kids will live off of it, and that shit just continue to grow. That's a tough ass sport, especially if you have other medical conditions that start to happen once you hang up the gloves and you start, having a little bit of slur of speech, having memory loss, aches and pains, all that shit. Man, shout out to young Billy in the building. The narrative that Spence doesn't need Crawford has been debunked. That's all I'm trying to say, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I was trying to say. If anybody's in here acting as if Spence doesn't need Terrence Crawford, you're sadly mistaken. There's a reason why he won. Not only does he want to unify for Undisputed, but he wants to get the money too that comes along with that fight. That fight is huge. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is bigger than Terrence Crawford versus Jermell Charlo. Once again, Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is a bigger fight than Terrence Crawford versus Jermell Charlo. Both of these guys are unified champions right now. If by chance the fight was to fall out, unfortunately, we already know the mentality of Jermell Charlo, but I'm just speaking, hypothetically, y'all. If Terrence Crawford would say, you know what, they're not going to do anything for me with the Spence fight, well, guess what? They may be able to make Jermell Charlo fight because obviously it's not as big of a fight than him and Spence. They may be able to make that fight outside of the price tag that Crawford would ask to fight Spence. I'm serious. And then, you just have everybody else that's going to be tagging along and, the whining and crying of Jermell Charlo about the 47. You know what I'm saying? All that's going to come into play. He don't want to fight. 1 minute he don't want to fight Crawford. The other minute he does. But when it boils down to it, Jermell Charlo isn't a bigger draw than Errol Spence. He isn't a bigger draw. Now they may sit back in the parking lot in their custom vehicles and watch Errol Spence fight on the big screen and wish to say, "Damn, bro, you listening? Oh, damn, you fucked up." Anyway, man, look at that, man. Wow, I wish that can be us, bro. Man, look at that guy, man. Our bro, EJ, man, fighting in front of all those people, man. Do you think we'll be able to do it before we retire? That's the conversation the Charlo brothers be having. D-Ray say facts respectfully blocked on more channels than not. Yeah, man. Real talk. That's why I don't comment on people's channels unless I am a moderator, because those same people, they tune in, and if you're not basically supporting their same brand of fighter, they time you out, man. They block you. 240, and with the so-called stacked card, they had their narrative pushing has been exposed. Man, it's been absolutely peeled back to the white meat. Y'all, I'm telling you, this fight has been peeled back to the. I'm telling you, and I'm asking you, don't believe all these channels is out here trying to damn boost these numbers up. They trying to inject their own freaking energy into it and act like, oh man, what we should do is consider the fact that that's not okay. If the numbers are not exact, that's what they are across the board, y'all. For every fight, it's never the exact numbers. But you're not going to sit up here and say Terrence Crawford numbers are exact. And you're not going to go in there and talk while I'm listening in and think I'm not going to speak about it. You said Terrence Crawford was 90 to 190. Let's say that. 90K to 190K. But when Spence numbers come out, oh, well, it's a little bit lower than we thought. Well, y'all know damn well those numbers are higher. People was up here streaming it illegal. Man, that shit's been going on for years. Ain't everybody in life on this planet is going to be damn paying for a fight. People are not financially stable like that, especially if the promoters have to start increasing the price of the PPV tag. And we're in the 70s, man. The 70s. Just remember, Floyd Mayweather forced y'all, because I didn't pay for this shit. I didn't crack stream it either. I just went and saw it, at a fight party. But Floyd Mayweather made y'all pay for made y'all pay $100 to watch a fight when he go in there against a mixed martial artist who was 0-0 as a boxer. Y'all paid $100 for that shit. $100. Mucho dinero. Y'all paid $100 for a fighter who was 0-0 to step in there with TBE for his 50th professional win. Dillian White was not participating in nothing. Yeah, they reprimanded him, dog. The sanctioned body got on Dillian White about that. Talking about, you have to abide by what we agreed upon, else we're gonna fine your ass. So that's why he came in there acting all friendly. Dillian White was super friendly. He still had on the black gloves to signify that he was on his, strong arm shit. When the person's wearing black gloves all the time, it's just like, well, in case I do have to swing, you know what I'm saying? Or you want to give the impression off to the audience that you on some enforcer type shit. That's what Dylan was trying to do. He on some enforcer type, but you're gonna need more than enforcement when you step in the ring with Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury did not look as tater-tottish as we used to seeing him. I mean, I'm just being honest, man. He just didn't look overweight. He didn't look bloated. What messages he's sending? Like, I don't really care about this Dillian White fight. I know what I need to do. I mean, I didn't hear any word about Tyson Fury bulking up to face Dillian White like he did Deontay. I ain't hear none of that shit. There's some channels I've gone and called them out and they're BS and they just ignore my comment. Hey, man, I wish them nothing but the best in creating their content. But one thing I have at my disposal is my own platform. I'm not asking people to like it or not. And also I have a voice to go behind the mic. You don't have to like it, but when you know Spence and Crawford comes up, you know what energy you gonna get from me. And y'all, I give everyone credit. They've been living long enough to understand right from wrong. You can't put every bit of criticism that I say or critique about Errol Spence, you cannot underscore that as hate. You can't. Now, of course, you can. You have you have the freedom of speech, but you need to learn what an opinion is, and need to learn deeply about what hate is. Hate is saying, I hope he doesn't even fight again in his life. Hate is you hoping something bad on that person. Hate is talking about personal shit on somebody. You wishing bad upon them. Me saying I know for a fact that Terrence Crawford gonna step on Spence is not hate. Y'all are too old and age appropriate to sit up here and not separate or identify what is hate and what's not. It's just opinions. It's boxing talk. It's controversial material. That's all it is. It's not anything dealing with hate, bro. Being said, WCS, it's funny that I know what content creator you're talking about. Hey, you probably do, dog. Salute WCS. Big dog in the building. What's good? Chris C in the building. Yeah, man, let's look at the thumbnail though. I said reality is both fighters are the numbers. No one else has said it what I just said. Look at what I just mentioned. Reality is both fighters are the numbers, not one. Both fighters contribute to the numbers when they step in the ring. Both of these fighters, whoever that may be. But in this particular case, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. You remember how they was pushing and pushing and pushing that once Errol Spence said it's 60-40. Now all of a sudden they don't want to talk about the percentages no more because Errol Spence said he was joking. You see where I'm going with this shit? Do you understand why I'm going for it? Where I'm going, the angle I'm taking. When Errol Spence, before he even said anything, they busy pushing, Terrence Crawford should take 70-30. Because Errol Spence has 2 belts. He should take 60-40. And then you have Mel Charlo on here blowing snot bubbles. He should just take less money. You should be challenger sometime. You should just goddamn be quiet. You should know your place. Everything else he was saying that seemed slavish to me. This all along, Errol Spence haven't said nothing about he was joking yet. So all these narrative pushers on here, these square wheel narrative pushers, they sitting up here saying, yeah, that's what Terrence Crawford should take it and just shut up. He should take what Errol Spence give him. Then Spence go on the Last Stand podcast and he tells Brian Custer straight up he was joking. Now, I don't want to talk about no percentages. What are you talking about? Y'all don't want to talk about numbers all of a sudden? Like, come on, man. That's all that was rampant around this YouTube community. 60-40, 70-30, 60-40, 70-30. They had like it was a forbidden language to talk 50-50. Oh, no, man. Bud don't deserve no 50-50. Hell no. Why is that? Because Errol Spence put butts in this. Man, get the fuck out of here. Y'all gonna try to convince these listeners that if you have 40,000 allocations, Spence put 40,000 in the seats all by his lonesome, right? Come on, man. Y'all better than this shit, bro. Y'all better than this shit. Y'all better than to believe that one fighter put all the butts in the seats. One fighter should take full credit for wherever those tickets went. All those tickets wasn't sold at the door. So why get on here and push narratives as if every ticket sales, every number that you see out of that allocation was because someone purchased a ticket? Do you know how many tickets that they give out to whoever those cats are that's comp tickets? Do you know how many tickets are dispersed? That those people go out here and sell those tickets for whatever price they want? That shit happens every fight card. And it's no different than Spence. Now, 40,000, I was talking to my boy today. Shit, Crawford, he can do that in the Cornhusker Stadium. Shit, Terrence Crawford, he can sell 40,000. Have a fight in Omaha. Shit, have a fight in Omaha. Terrence Crawford can goddamn do 40,000 with Carlos Ocampo and shit. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford can do 40,000, inviting Jeff Horn for a rematch. He can invite Joseph Benavidez for a goddamn rematch, dog. If Sean Porter want to come out of retirement and fight in Omaha, Nebraska, that shit'll do 40,000. I mean, come on, bro. How heavy does a fight card have to be? The undercard was super heavy, bro. And y'all just gonna sit up here and say Errol Spence was the numero uno that brought all the fans to the arena. Man, stop the press. Stop the press with that shit. Stop the motherfucking press. Isak Cruz, who also has momentum from coming off a damn decision loss to Gervonta Davis, he goes in there against Gamboa, who still had, if up to that fight, he had pretty decent, he still had a little bit to his name, right? People was wanting to see that fight. Man, come on with that shit, y'all. Local star vice global star. It is a big difference. These fighters are local stars. It's very, very difficult to be global stars. I'm talking about global stars to the point where you can pretty much just go anywhere, man, and people are just like running up to you, be like, damn, there goes so-and-so. I mean, it's just tough for anybody to be a global star right now. For real. It's just tough because the bigger you get, sometimes the more space you create from yourself and your fans. It's really difficult to sit up here and call, your favorite fighter a global star, especially if they don't have tenure in fighting in other countries. Fighters from other countries come over here because the money is over here. Of course, I'm leaving out, Abu Dhabi, Emirates, whatever, Saudi Arabia. I'm leaving that shit out. I'm just talking about a lot of fighters come over here to get paid. It's a big difference. Terrence Crawford, nor Errol Spence are global stars when you look at it. It's a big difference. So when you sit up here and boost these numbers, you got to understand that you're not sitting up here telling me that Errol Spence is a bigger star than Terrence Crawford because more people know him globally. If more people knew him globally, I'm going to tell you how big of a star Terrence is. I'm going to tell you how big of a star Terrence Crawford is. This is how big of a star. Every time someone interviews Errol Spence, whose name pops up? Let that marinate on your brain housing. Just let that sit on the roof of your thought process. Every time Errol Spence has an interview, whose name comes up? And you probably saying that, oh, that's because they supposed to say that. No, talk to anybody. Talk to anybody that rocks with boxing enough to understand the backstory of these two names. They would bring up Terrence Crawford. they would bring up Terrence Crawford name. Errol Spence need Terrence Crawford for not only undisputed, but he needs Terrence Crawford for his biggest payday. Terrence Crawford needs Errol Spence for his biggest payday, but he don't need Errol Spence to solidify his legacy. He needs Errol Spence to get his biggest payday in boxing. Why? Because the community has talked this up. Both of these guys are on a pound for pound list. Both of them have respectable professional records. They're undefeated in the sport. They're dangerous fighters. And everything has led up to this point. Everything. And finally, the belts are consolidated. 3 are in the possession and ownership of Errol Spence Jr., the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. And the 4th belt is in the possession of Terrence Bud Crawford, the WBO World Welterweight title. We've narrowed down the process. We narrowed it down. And then I heard Errol Spence say, well, when it comes to me, I've actually defeated the champion for my belts. Well, I don't know what that's saying, because when it comes down to it, if you defeat somebody, let's just look at the way Teofimo Lopez did. That means absolutely nothing, Spence. Who cares? You look at Teofimo Lopez, he defeated Richard Comey, and he went into the Lomachenko fight with just one IBF title. That don't make a difference. Who cares if you beat a Kell Brook, if you beat a Sean Porter, and you beat your Dinas Ugas? Long as you have the ownership of the belts, that's what matters. You could have fought Sean Porter for the freaking WBC and WBA. The result still would have been the same. You have 3 belts. It don't matter if you fought the champion or not. Millions of videos about the split, but not one damn video about Errol Spence lying about the splits, exposing a lot of these channels that we be on WCS. Yes, sir. Drop those gems there, Dundada. Man, Dundada on fire. Mr. Pass on fire. For real. My favorite listener is on deck. He's a Bud Crawford supporter in his heart. He just haven't really turned it over on the outside yet. But internally, he's a Bud Crawford supporter. That is Ben Israel. It's always good to see Ben drop through, because he's a true diehard Bud Crawford fan. He said, Mr. Paz, Shalom. You already know it's man down today, tomorrow, and forever. See, you see how I read that up? Usually I put my own shit in there, but I'm gonna allow him his comment to be read out of respect. I'm just gonna read it, because right at this point, we just waiting on the fight. We just waiting on the fight. We don't know what the day is or any of that. We just waiting on the fucking fight. We're waiting on the contract to be signed. We're waiting on the promotion to hit the airwaves. We're waiting. If it actually happens. Now, in 2022, it's going to let down and deflate a lot of people if this fight doesn't happen this year. I'm not going to talk about it if it don't. I'm going to be positive, because we got a 3-1, we got a 3-1 ownership going on here with the world titles. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be positive. I'm going to be positive that Tim Smith was just sitting up here just trying to dangle the carrot and throw us off at the beginning of the year, so we wouldn't get comfortable thinking we're going to see this Spence Crawford fight this year. I'm just going to point the finger and assume that he was up here just playing around a little bit. I'm not, you know what? I'm going to keep it positive that we have some people in high positions that's going to make this fight happen. To be fair, at least with Ben, that if Crawford wins, Ben is going to give him all the credit he deserved. Yeah, man. Like I don't know what it is, but like I said before, in his heart, he's truly a Bud Crawford fan. You know what I'm saying? More than he is an Errol Spence fan. He just chooses to get more attention and being a part of channels who speak heavy on Errol Spence, which is no problem. I'm not trying to deter individuals seriously to come over to Team Crawford because we need dedicated team members. We don't need halfers, sometimers, agents. We don't need that. We need full pledged, dedicated Bud Crawford members. All right. Because if you follow all these channels, they have names. They have the Justice League. I've heard Ben mention the Justice League. Have no idea who these people are. I heard them mention sexuals. Have no idea. Never met them. And then you have the ones that keep, the DR in their mouth and say, if you supporting Bud, you must be a dick rider, right? You take all that in consideration and how intensively they're advocating for Errol Spence. And you have to say to yourself, like, what are you doing? If you get into all these arguments and you're calling people out their name, all in good graces of Errol Spence Jr., what does that make you? The fight just happened. The fight just happened, bro. And I barely see any personal content that's out here on this YouTube. I barely see any of it. If you wasn't at the open workout, you didn't get shit. It was a media scrum. I didn't see a picture. I didn't see too much of anything, bro. I'm just keeping it honest. I just didn't see the shit popping around. I just didn't see it. Alexander say, shout out to Alexander being on deck. What's good? I'll take it day by day in boxing, but I'm hopeful and I think it will happen. Yeah, we got to be positive. We got to be positive. We got to be positive. It's a hot grease summer. We got to be positive. You know what I'm saying? We have to be positive. But I want y'all who's listening, I want you to be aware of something though. When these people be talking reckless about WCS on other channels, right? Don't take it. Don't take it too serious. I'm just asking you, don't take it too serious. Because on this YouTube shit, we all gonna have a difference of opinion. The only time I want to hear about it is when these same individuals start talking personal shit they don't know about. Because ask anybody. You don't see pictures with me with a bunch of dudes, all the time. You don't see none of that shit. I got priorities I need to take care of. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care about what they say, but when they say I don't know shit about boxing, you have to understand there's certain stuff I'm not gonna know about boxing, but I do cover MMA also. I do cover BJJ. I've been paying heavily watching the trials, the IBJJF, International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation trials for the ADCC tournament. Now, if we was to change subjects and talk about all these topics, ain't nobody on here messing with me. If we was to talk boxing, MMA, BJJ, and all these other shit that takes place, then guess what? It's a whole different world. But these cats are stuck in boxing. So if they want to say what WCS don't know, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's okay. Chris C on deck, I see you. He said I like Pitbull Cruz. I like him too, man. Even though he's a bit predictable to me, man, guy has an unbelievable damn tank on him, man. To throw that many shots, I don't know what the hell his shoulder, the ligaments and shit on his shoulders, but he threw some crazy amount of power shots just in a short period of time with Gamboa. He even did it with Tank. I'm surprised he didn't throw his shoulder out, man. That dude, he doesn't have to load up. He has better technique than Edgar Berlanga. I'm just saying. You know how Edgar Berlanga say he was a monster and all that. I'm going to tell you who's a monster, bro. Outside of David Benavidez, all right? Because Mike Tyson branded him that. Isaac Cruz is a monster. Point blank, period. You saw the results. Yeah, I mean, I saw the results, bro. I saw the result. I'm not disputing the results. Neither am I saying. I'm just talking about the numbers. The numbers are 240,000 buys. Wow. Why sit up here and exaggerate the numbers and talk about who did what? We don't care about who did what behind the scenes. We wasn't there. We don't have a consensus of all these people who did whatever they wanted to do when the fight come on. The numbers are coming out 240. We ain't adding shit to it except disappointment. If you that mega star, right, and you trying to put this space in between Crawford and Spence, it shouldn't worry about who else was doing something when it came time to purchase this fight. It don't matter. 240,000 is okay. It's not a failure. Once again, it's not a failure, but god damn. Errol Spence needs Crawford. Both of them need each other for this fight. Period. Steven on deck. Looking forward to the Undisputed Bud versus Spence. Yeah, we all, man. We just waiting for them to come up with something. You know what I'm saying? Something in the near future to say that this shit is popping off the way it should be. You know what I'm saying? The same here, Chris. Yeah, Pitbull is a beast, man. Very exciting fighter to watch. The crazy part about him is the way he unleashes his ammunition. The visual is there. Like, if this dude was to have Gervonta Tank Davis power, if he was to have Mike Tyson power, it won't be too many people. I'm talking about for his height and the way they say a star was born overnight. It wouldn't be too many people that can fuck with Isaac Cruz. You're trying to say that gas tank that he has and the amount of power shots he misses and keep on spinning until he gets you. He's an exciting fighter, man. He has a respectable gas tank, bro. And his fighting style, man, is something you want to take a look at. David Morrell is a monster. We've yet to see that, though. We can't. Y'all need to stop hyping up these fighters so quickly, bro. How do we know David Morrell is a monster, though? How do we know that? Who's on his resume to say that he's a monster, bro? Just give me a name. Dude is super young, right? And he's in the division where he can really make, you know what I'm saying? Where he can make some waves. But he's only 6 wins in. I think y'all be infatuated and in love with Southpaws, especially if they from Puerto Rico or Cuba. Who on his resume that makes him a beast? Who? Rodriguez? Rankin? Allen? Fox? Who? Who makes him a beast, bro? Please explain yourself. Who makes David Morrell a beast? Man, y'all gonna keep on talking on this YouTube shit. And I know I done heard people say, hey man, David Benavidez, he should fight David Morrell. Man, come on. Why would David Benavidez fight Morrell? Why? Morrell needs to fight all these other opponents that's sitting around in super middleweight that's been in there with some top names. That's all I'm saying. I agree. I think your name's Sakaya. I'll say Sakaya. He said Wilder the only one who willing to run it with anybody. Wilder ran it 3 times, y'all. 3 times with the best heavyweight, the top heavyweight. He ran it 3 times, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. He fought the man in a trilogy 3 times. He wasn't satisfied with Kenny Bailey stopping the fight in the rematch. So when he came back, he went in there into the Coliseum with the mindset is me or him. Don't stop it. If I go out, I go out. Let me be. And he went out. He went out, y'all. He went out, bro. For real. He went out. Bud ain't never ducked no smoke. No, he ain't never ducked no smoke. Shout out to Stephen Pope, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat, man. Dropping that dime in here. Appreciate you. He said, do you think the undisputed fight between Bud and Spence will be at the Cowboy Stadium or in Vegas at a stadium? I said earlier, I'd rather be at Vegas just to be on neutral grounds. I mean, because I look at it this way. If he fought Sean Porter for the WBC title and to unify for the first time in his career, he didn't do it in Texas. He went to Cali for that, right? So what's the difference with Bud Crawford? I would like to see them fight in Vegas. Now, I know everybody's looking and they were saying, damn, I was at the fight. It felt good. I saw it. I was like, God damn, that stadium, I almost can feel the energy. I said, that shit seemed turned. I was looking at that shit. I was like, God damn, man, they can't imagine how it feels, doing the ring walk in your hometown. But I wouldn't recommend Terrence Crawford fight him in his backyard. I wouldn't recommend that shit. I say jump out, state lines, man, and go over there to Vegas, bro. Go to Vegas. Forget it. Go to Vegas, go to Vegas, go to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Have it in the Raiders Stadium. In the Raiders Stadium, man. Have it over there. But anywhere except Texas. Anywhere except. Have them Texas fans pay to see Errol Spence. They're getting spoiled over there in Texas. Have them pay. Have them get on flights. Have them get on that bird. The same Terrence Crawford fan. We're going to have to get on the bird to come see him fight. That's just me. But to answer your question, I'd rather see it in Vegas, bro. And thanks once again for that donation. Stephen Pope in the building. Good point. Yeah, was rocking. Yeah, man, I just felt the energy back here. I was like, damn, man, it must be something to just do a ring walk, down to the ring with that energy and people cheering you on and shit like that. I mean, I felt it, though. It was good to go. I don't know what Ugas was feeling. You know what I'm saying? He seemed good, but hey. Sakaya, if I'm mentioning your name correctly, big shout out to you. Thanks for the $20 donation. Much appreciated. Just because you telling the truth, refreshing. Appreciate it, bro. That's why I try to tell people, like, man, I'm not your babysitter. You know what I'm talking. Sometimes I just be over here talking my shit, but that don't mean I'm not telling the truth. Because you got to understand one thing. Opinions are not based off facts. So if I'm giving my opinion on what I think about Spence or any other fighter, it's just an opinion. But if I'm sitting up here talking about his family and talking about this, that, and the other personally and what I hope and wish, yeah, that's hate. I'm trying to wish bad upon that man. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I do. I'm a family man myself. So I'm like, y'all youngins need to understand that. Once again, Sakai, thank you for the donation, man. Much appreciated. One love to you, bro. You and Steven. Ugas fought good. I would say Ugas fought good because I don't hold value to good. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold too much value to it above all right. Now, Ugas had some moments in the fight where I said, damn, if he would have progressed on that moment, he would have took full advantage of the window that he had on Spence. What could have happened? Now, of course, the spinning narrative is out here where, listen to how I break this shit down. If you're going to convince me that Errol Spence is an elite fighter, it's a checklist we all should have for the elite fighters that we support, right? That includes myself with the fighters that I support, right? There's a checklist. So if we're gonna have a checklist that Errol Spence is an elite fighter and his mouthpiece is dislodged from his mouth, all right, it hits the canvas. Now, a lot of you that's in this chat have been watching boxing for years upon years, and we've seen mouthpiece fall out. If you are supporting an elite fighter and you see your elite fighter, go looking for their mouthpiece. I just want to know what you're thinking about your elite fighter, because doesn't the referee supposed to pick up the mouthpiece? Who has a lapse? I'm keeping it the same energy because Dillian White, he had a lapse in judgment. It's been so many people. Anthony Joshua freaking mouthpiece spits the motherfucker out because he knew the referee has to pick it up. But no, I'm talking about the other Anthony Joshua that was in the fight with Joseph Parker when he ripped with the tape off his glove and just walked to the corner. Now, if you're going to have a break in the action yourself, do it to the point where it benefits you. See, when Joshua does it, he do it to the point where it benefits. He'll just have a lapse. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and goddamn go to my corner and take my own time out. And then he forces the ref to say what? Hey, time. Hey, AJ, what's going on? Hey, you have to let me know. You just can't walk off to your corner and have them tape you up. You got to let me know. You have to let me know. How many times have we seen fighters spit out their mouthpiece and they didn't pick it up? So how in the hell Spence is looking for his mouthpiece and say he made a rookie mistake when he's considered an elite fighter? He's considered an elite fighter. Why are you searching for your mouthpiece? And why aren't we giving Yordenis Ugas credit for taking full advantage of his lapse in judgment? We have to give Ugas credit for landing those shots. And then, Errol Spence falls up against the ropes. The ropes was holding him up. People's like, oh, he was fully competent, coherent. It's the fact that he was stumbling into the ropes. It should have been a count. Go read the rule books. It should have been a count. But he never seemed unconscious to me. He did stand back up. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence Cole stopped the action, got the mouthpiece. And my next question on the checklist, if you're an elite fighter, why doesn't your mouthpiece fit? I know the man has veneers. I understand he has veneers. But why don't your mouthpiece fit? Who is not looking out for Errol? If he would have just asked WCS, I would have went down the checklist. I would have remembered he has veneers in his mouth because we had to wait. He had to wait, because to get those implants and everything. So then, of course, you have to have a special mouthpiece. Didn't Errol Spence say he's had that mouthpiece for some time? Huh? How long have you had it? Because I understand your bite is going to be different due to your dental work. And you know why I'm bringing up dental work? Because I have made a point to say, you know what, Errol Spence don't sound the same. He sound different. And people said, oh, that's because he got his teeth done. Okay, if you're going to tell me that, then wouldn't it take more concerning measures to make sure he's fitted for a proper mouthpiece? The man is going in there for a unification bout, and his mouthpiece isn't a perfect fit. Somebody ain't been in his circle telling him the right shit. Somebody's just been letting him go out there, feed the horses, and kick the goats and chickens and do his thing, man. Like, come on, nobody didn't check for a freaking mouthpiece, bro. Anyway, let me keep going. Appreciate the donation from both of you, Sakai and Stephen Pope, man. Real talk. B-Dog. B-Dog said he nearly doubled Crawford's numbers. He needs Bud. He nearly doubles Crawford's numbers. So if they say Crawford did 190, so he doubled 190? That's what you're telling me? He doubled 190? And then I'm not gonna be petty, but you say he needs Bud with a question mark. I'm not gonna be petty, but he does need Bud, bro, for his biggest payday. And he needs Bud with a question mark how he's gonna get the WBO title. See, I'm not upset about y'all come over here putting this stuff in the live chat. If he don't need Bud, how is he gonna unify for Undisputed? How? I thought the same thing. Bud already unified. When you say unify is the entire look. Let me educate you on something. Unify can be all 4 titles. It is considered proper description and titling. They can have the WBC, WBA, IBF, and the WBO and be the unified champion. Is it not more than one title? Yes, it's unified. The other U word is undisputed. We're looking to have the unification of the welterweight division for undisputed between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Now, what are y'all talking about, man? Come on, chill. Just chill. Chill. I appreciate the input, though. Yeah, he said the next one will be molded to his veneers. I hope so. Spence already was hurt before the shot that sent him stumbling. I believe he was, but I believe he was hurt several other, a couple other times too. Did he have veneers against Garcia? He fought Garcia before the accident. He didn't have veneers to after the Sean Porter fight. His accident came after the Sean Porter fight. Cooking with Sir Senior on deck. What it do there, Sir Senior? Yes, he said, salute World Combat Sports. Salute to you, my brother. Yes, against Danny. Yeah, Danny, he had it. But not with Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Not with Mikey Garcia, not with Sean Porter. When you say Garcia, you have to understand he fought 2 Garcias, Mikey and Danny. But Steven answered, yeah, against Danny. Showtime in the building. Shout out to my dog, Showtime. Shot News on deck, man. Definitely check him out. Doing this thing over there in NYC, man. Happy birthday to you, bro. I don't think I told you when you was out there enjoying your time with the fam. They need each other to really do big numbers. I agree. They need each other. Absolutely, they need each other. Period. The biggest payday of both of their careers and also legacy-defining fight. This is for 4 belts in the welterweight division. Won't this be the first? Won't it in the 4-belt era? Zab Judah, he was the last one to be unified for undisputed during that era. This would be the first in the 4-belt era, right? I'm just saying. This is a legacy-defining fight between these two. It's going to be thumbnail after thumbnail after thumbnail after thumbnail after thumbnail, people. This shit ain't going to stop. You don't stop to the bang, bang, boogie the beat. Anyone of y'all in the chat, man, want to jump on, there go the link. If y'all want to jump on and talk your piece with this, but it is what it is with the 240,000 buys. Nobody's going to convince me that it's any more than that, especially when you're trying to put them close to 1 million. You're trying to put them close to 1 million to justify who's the bigger draw. When it comes down to this fight, y'all ain't pushing the same energy with the narrative because Errol Spence said he was joking. Now you can't talk about percentages. Now you want to talk about PPV buys. No, we ain't doing that, shawties. We're not doing that. All we want to see is the fight. Keep it. Both of these guys have TKO stoppages from their last fight. Both of them. It doesn't get any better than that. If anybody in the chat has any new profound evidence that this fight did close to 1 million views, please drop it in the chat. Now I need sources. I need some links. I need something. Now, come on, for real. I haven't seen anything out there that's saying that this fight did over 500,000. 500,000 or above. I haven't heard anything out there for that. I need to see an article of anything that has did 300. You know what I'm saying? Anything that did over 300K, then let's talk. Big shout out to Showtime in the building. What they do?
Hey, what's going on, Raw Combat? Peace, salute to everybody in the chat. I want to say this about those numbers. I feel that those numbers are accurate, and I'm gonna say why. When Ugas fought the living legend Manny Pacquiao, Pacquiao was a global fixture, being there with Floyd Mayweather. He did like 225, I believe it was. So for him and Earl to do 240 is not far off.
Now hold up. You said that Ugas did 2.25 with the 8th division legend Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why? So what's your scale of perception on who did what? It took both fighters, right, for that 2.25. It took both fighters knowing that Manny Pacquiao is the legend, of course. You know what I'm saying? But the champion was Ugas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think they're unaccepting and digesting the fact that Errol Spence and Ugas did 240,000?
Well, when you're dealing with the YTC and the narrative pushes, and they are constantly pushing the narrative that for months, years, that Errol Spence was knocking on Canelo's heels as the biggest star in boxing. So when the numbers, like I said, 240 is a decent number, but when the numbers aren't even in the realm of what Canelo and Caleb Plant did, you got to come with some type of spinoff now. The legal streams, and Noah did 500K, and 7 million, almost 10 million people illegally bought the fight. You got to come with something, because when you are saying that Earl Spence is bigger than Canelo, and we all know Canelo is the real cash cow of boxing. He does big pay-per-views, does big gates, things of that nature. So when that narrative is always being pushed for Earl Spence and the numbers don't quite add up, you got to come with a different narrative. Like Uncle Jay always says, the truth has to remain the same, but a lie always has to change. So now the lie had to change.
Absolutely. Shout out to Uncle Jay, man. Always be kicking that goddamn diamonds, man. Kiki V said this fight did. Check this out, Showtime.
Yeah.
He said this fight did well over 500K. Derrick James said that. Derrick James was the same person that said that Errol Spence was 40% in this fight against Danny Garcia. But yet he's looking for his mouthpiece. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, Fanon said the same thing too.
What you said though. Go ahead.
Fanon said he did 500K too. So
man, come on now. Come on, man. Where are these? Where are the links? Where are the articles? It doesn't matter how long you've been in this YouTube community.
And I want to say this, not to cut you off or nothing, right? I want to say this, right? Everybody says that Ugas is not a well-known fighter, right? And this is just my thesis on this, right? Ugas isn't that known of a fighter. Now we're just gonna go with the narrative that he did 500K, right? With a fighter, Mikey Garcia, I believe was his highest. It was like 3 and some change.
Yeah,
he couldn't do. Yeah, he couldn't do 500K with a strong Mexican audience with Mikey Garcia, but yet he was able to do this is alleged. This is all alleged. He was able to do 500K with Dennis Ugas, who's really not that known, who did a pay-per-view with Manny Pacquiao and only did 225. But the narrative that they're pushing is that him and Earl did 500K. I'm not the sharpest knife in the kitchen, but that's kind of, man, that's amazing if it is.
It is amazing, but you know what they're gonna tell you that Showtime? Well, see, Mikey Garcia didn't have no strap. Arrows say it's strap season. That's why I did the numbers it did, because Mikey didn't have no strap, and he had just moved up from lightweight to welterweight. That's what they're gonna say. He didn't have a belt.
Okay, that's a good argument, but let's go to Sean Porter now. Sean Porter had a belt. Sean Porter fought a lot of hitters: Cal Brook, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, but yet him and Earl didn't clear 500K. And Sean Porter is well more known than Dennis Ugas, and they both fought for belts too. But yet he didn't reach the 500K mark.
You need to hit him with your one line, bro.
Oh, but hey, what do I know?
Hey, I'm just saying, dog. Like, y'all up here exaggerate the numbers, fluffing the numbers, man. When all you have to do is go back to his previous fights. Yeah. And those fighters that he was in there with, that y'all boosting the numbers up, they had bigger names than Ugas. Danny Garcia is a bigger name than Ugas. Mikey Garcia, 4-weight champion, bigger name than Ugas. Sean Porter, 2-time world champion, bigger than Ugas. Been in the ring with Ugas. But yet, when it comes to Ugas, he gets 1% of the credit when it comes to these buys. He gets 1%. He gets 1% of the 40,000 seats that was sold out at Cowboy Stadium. I mean, come on, man. Like, y'all not giving this man no credit. And he already just stepped out the ring with Manny Pacquiao. If they did 2.25 with Manny Pacquiao, that means Ugas has some type of value, because he was in there with doing 200 with two different names in the welterweight division. Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr.
Errol Spence, yeah. Yeah, he has some type of selling power.
He has some type of selling power, bro. Like, come on. Let me get some of these chats. Sir Senior say, my sources say cocaine, a hell of a drug. Yes, sir. Why does Spence hate? I have no idea what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? If you read my thumbnail, there's no hate in that thumbnail. I do believe that Spence is the second best, you know what I'm saying, welterweight. I do. It's not hate. Just my OP. It was 200 with Manny and Ugas. Hey, Oscar, somebody's consistent. That means Ugas, he has some type of selling power, like Showtime just mentioned, to leave the Manny Pacquiao fight and go in there with Spence. Dude has selling power. So you just can't sit up here and say, Errol Spence did. Errol Spence did. No, Yordenis Ugas contributed to that too. Spence made that fight. Nobody was checked for Ugas. Yes, they was, bro. Yes, they was. He had a belt. They had to check for him. Because heading into that fight, people weren't sure that he had put on the, that Errol Spence can go in there and defeat Ugas. Dog said, is anyone disputing these numbers? I haven't seen any. Well, they're on other channels and shit like that, but like when you go to the sources, it's not sources out here that's putting this shit at 500K. That's cap. That's cap. Errol is definitely top 3 biggest draws behind Canelo and Deontay. I can't sit up here and co-sign on that. What do you think about that, Showtime? What Oscar said. That Errol is definitely top 3 biggest draws behind Canelo and Deontay. Because last time I checked, Showtime, Deontay was fighting in Vegas. He was fighting at dang Staples Arena, the Staples Center when it was the Staples Center. And Canelo's fighting all over the damn place.
Yeah, Canelo's in a class by itself. Canelo did 70,000 at AT&T. That's like 30 more thousand than what Earl just did. And his weigh-in, he pulled up in the tour bus like Guns N' Roses, and I think he damn near had 10,000 people at his weigh-in. This is
Oh shit, dog.
Canelo's just different, man. Canelo's different, man. He's coming to weigh-ins in tour buses. He's having people, and this he's doing this globally because I covered him at Madison Square Garden when he fought Rocky Fielding, and he had about 15,000 people in Madison Square Garden like it was a Knicks game to watch his weigh-in, not the fight, the weigh-in. So Canelo was he's a different type of stepper. Deontay Wilder, heavyweight. I seen him sell out the Barclays Staples Center. He's a globetrotter, man. Yeah, he's a globetrotter. Earl is right there though, you know. And this is for all the people that say we hate on Spence. No, Earl is right there. But I'm gonna tell you who else is right there too. If you want to talk about headliners, the young Tank Davis.
They're not gonna give Tank his just due for being on PPV because of who he fought. But I'm telling you, people want to go to the arena and see Tank.
Facts.
They want to go see it, man. They want to go see the Baltimore native, man.
Yeah. He's doing it in different cities too. He did it in Brooklyn. He's gonna do it again in Brooklyn next month. He did it in Atlanta. He did it in his hometown.
Yep.
He did it. He fought in Texas too at the Alamo Dome against Leo Santa Cruz. Yes, Leo Santa Cruz, and that was a COVID capacity crowd that he packed out. So Tank is right there too. I can't exclude Tank out of that equation.
Damn, give it up for Showtime for showing out. Damn. You up here coming here dumping all the sauce over the place, dog. Damn. Nobody hating on Spence. We just want to see him take the hard route. I don't want to see Spence take the hard route. The man did what he's supposed to do. We just want to see him, get the fight. What hard route? He went over in down Kell Brook's backyard and took the title. He took the title off Sean Porter. He just took the title off Yadinas Ugas. What hard route? It's not even names left in the welterweight division for him to take a hard route unless he decides to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and fight Boots in July. Now, that's a hard route. If he wanted to sit up here and say he was going to fight Boots before he fight Terrence Crawford. And we all know that ain't happening. Y'all dudes weirdos. Errol literally called Bud out. You can't be talking to us on here. I have no idea, as always. You lost, man. Errol did 50K door tickets with Mikey and well over 500K. And he did 700K. And this is probably one of your favorite channels under a false account, that Showtime. You know what I'm saying? They can't come in on their own account because they'd be supporting the channel. So they got to come in and change their name up and push their narrative. PPV. He did 700K to Porter fight. Yeah, that's what they have registered, 700K. Sure they do. Sure they do. Nobody's even said they did 700K for the Mikey Garcia.
Yeah.
Charles, what's good with it? He say, salute. Spence needs to weigh in 147 doing fight against Bud. Spence always has the advantage. Now, we ain't talking about no weight bullying. They balance the scales accordingly, man. We ain't talking about that. I was there. I could probably count how many people were actually rooting for Ugas. How many did you come up with? Because if you was there trying to count people who was rooting for Ugas, you weren't paying attention to the fight. You had to pay for a ticket. Steven say, there's no hate. I appreciate Sky's opinion and knowledge. Same with Shalom. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Go ahead. What you were saying, Showtime.
No, I was saying 40,000 is good. Like, he sells in Dallas. I think that's around his average because the excluding the Danny Garcia fight, because the Danny Garcia fight, it was COVID restriction, so it was like only 19,000, I believe, was only allowed in for that because it was COVID restriction. But with Mikey, he did around 45, and this fight right here, he does 40. So that's around his average, 40, 42,000, bringing him into AT&T Stadium. Because I think he fought there 3 times, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. He fought Mikey. He fought Danny Garcia and then fought Udenas.
Yeah, so because the Ocampo's fight was in at the Star in Frisco.
Yeah, he was at the practice facility, right?
Yes,
That's
yeah,
what that was, right?
yeah, at the Star in
Yeah.
Frisco. So that's around his average, like 40K, 42K. That's good. But I want to say this too, and this is no shot at Earl. People tend to you know like downplay Bud, right? Like, oh, Bud never sold that many. If Bud was allowed to fight at the Cornhusker Stadium where Nebraska plays football, I think Bud could do 40,000 people.
I told him if he wanted to give any one of his people on his list right now that he's defeated at welterweight a rematch, he'd probably do 40 easy.
Yeah, yeah, because it's all about the facility. Jerry's World holds what, 100,000, 90,000. So anytime you are fighting in a facility of that magnitude, the people going to come out because it's not like it's going to sell out at 20K, 25K. You got to sell 100K to sell out Jerry's World.
And what you know about the tickets, right? People pushing narratives once again that Errol Spence packed out 40. Now, just slightly break down, what we know about these tickets and these allocations. You know what I'm saying? What we know about the comps and how
Oh
certain
yeah,
parties are delegated a percentage of these tickets.
oh yeah, yeah. That's a little behind the source information. But hey, what
Yeah,
do we know? Allegedly, we have to say
allegedly,
allegedly. You know, you,
allegedly.
you know the teams, the fighters. They get a number of tickets for family, for friends, things of that nature. And just like you said, you have the comp tickets. I'm sure if we could get in contact with Mr. Watson, shout out to Sam Watson. Sam Watson would tell you about this. Like the celebrities that come to these events. Do you think they're paying for their tickets? No, they are given complimentary tickets, things of that nature. But hey, what do we know?
And complimentary mean they're not reaching in their pockets. So to sit up here and try to say that one fighter is the reason why the arena was packed out without giving his opponent any credit is just insanely debilitating. You're trying to get these people to believe in boxing talk and to treat it with respect, but yet you're trying to say Errol Spence is solely the proprietor of selling all these tickets.
Yeah.
Everybody, just because it was in Texas, everybody came to see just him. No, they came to see the undercard too now.
Yeah, you don't think Isik, I gotta say his name correct. I'm working on my journalism. You don't think
Yeah.
Isik Cruz had a large following in there, coming off of his performance against Tank Davis?
He's Mexican, right?
Yes.
So like I was saying this earlier, Showtime. I was like, aren't these the same people who said Mexicans have a large fan base and this, that, and the other? But I guess it don't apply to Isak because it doesn't apply to him. He's Mexican. They have a huge Mexican fan base over there in Texas. I guess it don't apply to him. All glory be to Errol.
You don't think the Riverside Rocky, who also is Mexican, had a large following in there with him? We have to give these other fighters credit too. They just didn't show up to fight without no fans.
For real, man. We gotta give him credit. We gotta give him a shout out, y'all. Man,
You
we
know?
got we got to get the undercard PBC put on. The undercard was pretty decent, to be honest. It was pretty decent. Seriously, I mean the undercard was pretty decent.
And Texas is a high populated Chino Mexican population. And I'm pretty sure, like you just stated earlier, the Mexicans support their fighters. So I'm pretty sure Isaac Cruz had a couple of people in there. Riverside Rocky had a couple of people in there.
Hey, I bet if Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin would have fallen on this card, they still would have gave all glory to Spence for being the only fight on the card to boost these numbers up. Now, if Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin would have been on the card, now the numbers might have, just peaked up just a little bit more when it comes down to it.
I agree though, because Sebastian Fontoura, and they just imagine they was on that undercard with the performance that they put on. Man,
that shit would have been crazy, man. Oh man, you talking about setting the tone for the main event? Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Shit would have been wicked.
Yeah, definitely would have.
Ben, as you keep your ear to the street, bro. Have you heard anything about because certain other voices I've heard seem to believe it's going to be in September. Have you heard anything else about this fight?
I'll tell you what, man. Now I gotta say alleged, and I gotta say I'm always gonna say it, but hey, what do I know, right? We all know who fights in September. We all know that is the Mexican, what I believe, Independence holiday. We all know who has those dates. Like I always say, I'm not the sharpest knife in the kitchen. That would be not a good move to try to have that fight in September. Because Canelo fights in September. If he gets past Bivol, it'll probably be him and Triple G. And Canelo, like I just said, he's coming off of 800K, 800K with Caleb Plant, PPV. So if he just say he does another 800K, right, in September, and I heard you speaking on it a little earlier. A lot of people don't have the money to buy 2 PPVs in 1 month. I know they was complaining about Earl's PPV being streamed illegally by 7 million people. How many people do you think will illegally stream it in September if they streamed it in April?
Hey, how many people was illegally streaming in November of 2021 when Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez faced off at the MGM Grand? How many people illegal streamed that? And you trying to tell me they still did 800K? Stop it, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's why I said when the narratives get pushed out, they have to stay consistent, man. If Caleb Plant and Canelo did 800K, I wonder how, like you just said, I wonder how many people streamed that. Maybe they could have did 2 million pay-per-views if they didn't get those legal streams.
Yeah. So when people trying to mesh these narratives and put gorilla glue on them to stick together, saying that Errol Spence is doing numbers better than Canelo, stop, man. Come on, you overboard with it, man. Just like goddamn Sir Senior said, damn, cocaine is a hell of a drug, dog.
Yes, it is, man. It is, and I don't want y'all to say that I'm pocket watching and all that, but if not for nothing, if Errol Spence was doing the numbers Canelo was doing, he would be getting the guaranteed money that Canelo was getting, and there wouldn't be these discussions that that we got to see if there's enough money for the Bud Crawford Errol Spence fight. There wouldn't be no talks like that.
It wouldn't be no doubt, nothing. It would be secured funds. They would be sure that this is where we at right now. And this is how much we're gonna put to this fight. When Canelo rolled into the PBC, what was it? They was for sure they was gonna be able to make him a deal.
Oh yeah.
They got that deal made. Canelo came in, swooped in for one, and bounced.
And took it and ran. He got it. He damn near got their whole budget for one fight and left. And left said, thank you. See you soon.
And with Spence, man, nobody's talking about a budget. Like they're not trying to appease these fighters with a budget that's clear, straight to the point. They're trying to find out where the money is going to come from, and I think we talked about this previously, that if they're trying to determine if they even have it, that means somebody that they're not sure if they'll be able to take care of both fighters to a point. Like, you're gonna have to pay both fighters in this case. Like, neither one of these fighters are Canelo Alvarez, so you definitely have to pay both fighters.
Yes,
And they already said they don't want to. They're not trying to insult Bud with an offer that's too low. You know what I'm saying? And discourage the process. So that just goes to show you right there. If they say they don't want to insult Bud, then what are we talking about? Why are we talking about seats and shit? If they don't have the money to appease Team Bud Crawford.
Yeah. And what I find ironic is too, when remember when the story was breaking that they was going to give Bud 30 million for 2 fights, and it
Yeah.
sent the YTC in an uproar. It sent them into an uproar because I don't think PBC fighters get that type of guaranteed money. We always hear the stories about them getting it on the back end. The back end.
Absolutely. That is fact.
So when it was presented that alleged, we always got to say alleged. When it was presented alleged that Terrence Crawford was going to receive a 2-fight, $30 million deal. I seen a lot of channels. They was irate. They was irate. They said, "How dare he come over here and do that? How dare Terrence attempt to do something like that? He better take what they give him and beg that he gets a deal."
Mm-hmm. And all along, Showtime, they was always saying what? Terrence Crawford should come over to the PBC. He's stupid. He should come over to the PBC. What is he doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then when the news break, a potential 2-fight deal. Oh man, that ain't what's going on with this? Man, who is he gonna fight? Man, I just don't know why. What are we talking about? It can't be, man. Come on, man. What do you want? You want him to come to the PBC? I mean, he's not gonna give you that slavish Jamel type of mentality. Terrence Crawford ain't coming to lay at the doorstep, man, so people can walk on him first. And after they finish walking on him, then they say, okay, we're going to give you a 2-fight deal worth $100K. It's not going to happen. No one's going to sit up here and say, okay, I heard what Jamel Charlo say, he should be the challenger. He should want to, be second. He should want to take less money. Well, guess what? I don't think the Charlo brothers trying to take less money because they seem to be living pretty good.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So why should Bud Crawford go ahead and want to take less money for a tough fight?
Yeah. And not only a tough fight, what people deem the biggest fight in boxing history right now. In our era. The biggest fight.
In our era, yeah.
So if this is the biggest fight in our era, there should be big money involved. This is professional prize fighting. Like, hey, what do I know?
B-Dog said if you were there, you would understand the vast majority of people were there for Spence. A lot of people didn't even show up until the main event. One thing I know about fights, right? Because I'm usually up there with the long lens. One thing I know, the people are there drinking. They're eating. They're still peeking in from the top and looking at the fight. But when they come and sit down and get comfortable, they want to witness the ring walk. They understand what the co-main and the main event is for, but that has absolutely nothing to do with majority of them being there for Spence. They was out there getting intoxicated. They was getting their head right because they want to really enjoy the fight.
Yeah,
they want the fight to jump out in 3D.
It's an event too, yeah. That's what you taking in, the festivities. That's Jerry's World for those that have been there. It's massive. That's why I interviewed a young Spence boy, and I told him to speak on it because a lot of people never got to witness Cowboy Stadium. Cowboy Stadium in itself is like just being in there. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. I like Jerry's World though, the practice arena too. I like the entire setup. Even though the arena is much smaller, man, they put on a damn good show that time.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all good, man. It wasn't that bad. I've been up there what 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Well, nice. He has like a whole mall. Man,
Oh yeah,
shout out to Jerry Jones. Man. He's doing it different, man. He's
yeah.
doing
Shout out
it
to Jerry
different.
Jones, man. The Grand Pooper, man. The food is good too. Them
Yeah.
restaurants is by the training facility. That
Oh
food is
man.
delicious.
Yeah. Yeah. First shout out to Frisco, man. Frisco was nice.
Where at you? I'm gonna jump up off here, man. I appreciate you pulling up on this Friday,
Oh
man.
man,
You went live yet? You went live yet?
I'm probably going a little later. I'm cooking right now, but I
All right, for
appreciate you.
sure.
I appreciate you having me on. Salute to the panel. Salute to the live chat, and always salute to World Combat Sports, one of the best in the game doing it, man.
Appreciate you, Showtime, man. Real talk. Y'all go follow this brother, man. Go follow Showtime Shaw News, man. The Sauce Talk. Go check him out and sub to the channel. Appreciate you pulling up, my brother, always.
Appreciate you. I'm out.
I want to give a big shout out to Team Williams, man. Team Williams is in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? He's getting ready to compete. He has a heavy card over there at 116 Box Promotion. Shout out to Team Williams, man. On deck. Everybody's over there. You're going to have Michael Williams Jr., Fernando Bunch, Andrew Murphy. Man, you're going to have Kevin Newman. Who else is going to be there? Donald Roundtree, Dominique Roundtree. I mean, it's just gonna be a card. I think they have like 13 fights on that card or something like that. It's gonna be a big card. So shout out to Big 150 Boy Wonder who's stepping in there for his return after Madison Square Garden to seek and contend for his 20th professional victory. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Show some love, be tuned in to the stream. If you don't know 116 Box Promotion, you can check it out on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Check it out on Facebook. And those of you that tuned in today, man, yeah, you know what it is. I always appreciate and thanks for the content that y'all dropping in this live chat, man. It's not just for me, it's for the listeners. Yeah, you're gonna get some individuals that come in on fake accounts. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? That just shows me that I'm doing something right, that you won't come in under your real name, under your real account, and click the link. Cause I'll be on other people's shit. It's not a problem with me. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say what they're gonna say. It's not personal. It gets personal sometimes. I don't sweat that shit, bro. But appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Y'all continue to support the channel. Hit the like button on your way out. And sub to the channel if you haven't. Until next time, man. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.